Well, our top story this hour, the Women's World Cup is underway and there was disappointment for the Republic of Ireland, beaten 1-0 in the end by the co-hosts Australia in their opener. So let's head live, shall we, to Stadium Australia in Sydney and join our reporter Jess Crichton. Jess, lovely to see you. OK, defeat for Ireland, but any positives?
Yeah, hiya Pete. I think there'll be lots of positives for this Ireland team. Yes, they will be disappointed that they went down in that opening game because I think they believed that they could possibly get a result here against Australia, despite Australia, being the home favourites, despite Australia being ranked number 10 in the world in comparison to Ireland's 22nd. But tonight, particularly towards the build-up towards kick-off, probably felt like an opportunity because Australia were without one of their star strikers in Sam Kerr. So I think the Ireland team believed that perhaps they could get, at least a draw out of this game. It wasn't to be. They lost it 1-0. But I think they'll be encouraged by the way they played, by the way they held Australia at bay, and then towards the end of the game, the way that they created chances for themselves. Don't forget, it was 0-0 at half-time, and they kept one of the best sides in the world at bay for a good 45 minutes. It was then early on in the second half, in the 52nd minute, where Hayley Raso went down in the penalty box. Referee pointed to the spot, no hesitations. I don't even think there was a VAR check for that because it was such a certain decision from the referee. Steph Catley stepped up and she put it past the Ireland goalkeeper, Courtney Brosnan. So that was the 1-0 scoreline. But towards the end of the game, in the last 10, 15 minutes, Ireland were really pushing for an equaliser. They didn't look overawed at all by playing a team so far above them in the world rankings, playing in this World Cup in their first ever major tournament. They didn't look overcome with emotion at all. And of course, there were 75,000 people here behind me in the Stadium Australia, and that was a record crowd for a women's match in Australia. I think Ireland held their own. They will feel a bit aggrieved by the penalty decision, I'm sure, but lots of positives to take out, and they do, Pete, still have 2 group matches left, so still all to play for Ireland.
You're right, yeah. So it sounds like Vera Power will take those positives, Jess, but like you say, 2 games still to play, Canada and Nigeria. Have we seen enough to suggest that Ireland should still qualify from this group?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely not over yet, Pete. 2 big, massive games for the Republic of Ireland, as you rightly say, against Canada in Perth, and then the final group game against one of the best sides on the African continent, Nigeria, down in Brisbane. So a possible 6 points there for them, and you imagine if they did get 6 points, they would be one of the 2 teams to qualify out of their group and into the round of 16. And I think what was positive about this Ireland side is that players came off the bench and the side played just as strong as, if not stronger, than the starting 11. So we are starting to see that strength in depth for this Republic of Ireland side. It was particularly in the wide positions. Vera Powell made a decision halfway through the second half to take off Marissa Shiva and Sinead Farrelly, bring on Lucy Quinn and Abby Larking, and the 2 of them in the wide areas created some chances. And it was really interesting to see in the final 5-10 minutes, the centre-back, Louise Quinn, the Centurion, such an experienced person in that Ireland back line, playing up front because she is so good in the air. I think they were hoping that some of the balls from the wide areas would come into the box and perhaps Louise Quinn could get on the end of it. Wasn't to be, but many positives to take, and still definitely a chance for this Republic of Ireland women's team to qualify out of their group.
Yeah, I think you're right. We're all willing them to score in those closing stages here as well. Jess, just one more. I mean, on Australia, a lot of people fancy them to go deep into this tournament, if not win it. They've had to play today without their star striker, a player we know lots about in Sam Kerr. How's that looking? When are we expecting to see her back in the side? And how can Australia cope without their star player?
Yeah, I have to say, Pete, it doesn't look great at all for Sam Kerr. She sat in the press conference yesterday alongside her manager, and neither of them gave anything away that there was any issues. Interestingly, the head coach was asked, are there any fitness or injury concerns? And he didn't really answer the question, which perhaps suggests that, he already knew at that point that Sam Kerr was injured and out of the match. And You know, it was confirmed in the build-up when the teams were released that Sam Kerr was out of this match, and in fact, not just out of this match, but out of the next group match for Australia as well. So she will miss the 2 opening games at least of this World Cup. And then she released a statement on her Instagram to say that she injured herself in training. It's a calf injury. She's obviously disappointed, but she's still out here supporting the team. We did see a shot of her in the stadium. She was on the bench, wrapped up, I'm sure, but unable to play any part for the next couple of weeks in this tournament. After that second group game, she'll be reassessed by the medical team to see if she can play in the final group game, but not even that is a certain. And she will be a massive loss for the Australia side. She is their talisman. She is their key player. She is their captain. She has been at the heart of all the success that Australia have had in recent months. And without her, OK, they did OK against the Republic of Ireland today, but I just wonder whether, without her, may they fall short against the likes of Canada, against the likes of Nigeria in those final 2 group games. And as well, Pete, I've been in Australia for a week now, and wherever you go in Australia, Sam Kerr is absolutely everywhere. She's on buses, she's on billboards, she's on massive TV campaigns with major brands. You know, she is the poster girl, she is the face of this Women's World Cup. So it's a shame in that respect, but it's also a big shame for Sam Kerr. We wish her the best of luck in getting fit for the remainder of this tournament, but as it stands, the poster girl for this Women's World Cup will not be a part of it until perhaps the final group game.
OK, Jess, thank you so much for that. Day one has thrown up some incredible stories already.